People do. I don't know if people ask me to rank movie series, but yes, I'll be ranking the first movie series. I'll be ranking. This will also count as a tier list. So we'll be ranking the Rocky movies. I did Star Wars and Marvel in the past, obviously, but yeah, I mean, but yeah, I'd be will be above here, and yeah, we'll be ranking them all from D, E, and to F tier. There'll be no E tier because nobody cares about E tier movies. We'll be going in chronological order. So chronological order, which is this Rocky Balboa takes between place between these two movies. So Rocky, of course, Rocky is a classic. Rocky, of course. You got it's more the first movie is about the character development and that stuff, and basically about Rocky given a chance to fight one of these the reigning world champion and stuff. It's a pretty great movie, pretty emotional story. The characters are all great. The characters are all well balanced. There's enough it isn't like the story isn't doesn't go like uninteresting for a bit. Some movies do that problem where the characters get so uninteresting. There's not enough conflict in the story. But yeah, there's actual there's a conflict before the fight, and of course all the things that happen in the Rocky movie, all the things, the relationships with the characters, the Rocky having to train for this fight, the big fight of his life, and of course the fight, of course, was pretty great as well. Rocky 2 goes in A tier. Rocky 2 is a pretty great movie. It says the conclusion to the first. Yeah, it's kind of like Dragon Ball Z. You have the conclusion of the previous movie. Basically, Rocky gets injured and stuff from the previous fight. Basically, spoilers for that. But yeah, that for that. And the original fight ended up in a tie. So and of course, Apollo Creed wants a rematch because he wants to prove that he's better than Rocky. And basically, they don't want Rocky to compete because he's hurt and stuff. But eventually, they make him compete. He does want to compete so he can get his reigning title. And yeah, it's a pretty good movie. Next is Rocky 3. Rocky 3 goes around BTL. Rocky 3 is good, but it's not as good as the first two. Rocky 3 is against. I just call him Mr. T. That's all I call him. I call him Mr. T. Well, Rocky had to fight Mr. T in the movie. And yeah, Rocky 3 is a pretty good movie. Pretty emotional movie, like 4 is as well. Pretty emotional. An important character in the. I'm not gonna say who. An important character dies in this movie. It's pretty sad. It's pretty depressing. But yes, but again, at the end, it gives Rocky the motivation to fight the guy. There's also a scene of Hulk Hogan. I think this is the one with Hulk Hogan in the movie. No, yeah, I think it's Hulk Hogan, where he beats Hulk Hogan in a fight. Next is Rocky 4. Rocky 4 is, I think, up here, as above Rocky 3. Rocky 4 is basically the Americans versus the Russians. Basically, that's what the movie is about. And yeah, that symbolism in the movie is pretty great and pretty amazing. The fact that we have Rocky fighting against the Russian backed fighter called Drago. This is the one this is the one with the very great song called Eye of the Tiger. That song is pretty great. The trade montage while Rocky is basically doing all this stuff in Siberia while the guy in the Russian side is doing. I'm not gonna spoil who dies in the movie, but someone does die in the movie. I'm not telling you who because you have to watch the movie to see who. But yeah, I'm telling you, somebody dies in this movie, and and that's why, and that motivates Rocky to get revenge on the Russian guy, because to beat him and of course to beat him for his country. And at the end, the Russian guy has proven not to be invincible, and he gets beaten in the end. That spoils. But again, if you've seen the rest of the Rocky movies, Rocky, of course, wins at the end. That's the whole point. Rocky 5, God, F tier. I already made a video called Rocky 5 Sucks. The movie is horrible. Don't watch this. Maybe you should watch this one, but it's not. It's considered the worst Rocky movie out of all of them. Rocky 5, they made Rocky's kid like a street punk or something like that. They instead of training his kid, they make Rocky out to be this horrible father like Goku, like how Goku and Dragon Ball Super. It's just a mess of a movie. It's just a mess. And there was no real fight. It's basically Rocky trains this guy, but this guy bails out on Rocky because of money. Like that, and everybody hates him now. So he wants to fight Rocky, and Rocky doesn't want to fight him. Next is Rocky Balboa. Rocky Balboa is a pretty good movie. it is not the best movie, but yeah, it's like his last fight where he gets out of retirement to go fight this guy in an exposition match where they don't really go all out, but they do fight. It is pretty okay. It's worse than Rocky 3. And yeah, that's basically it about Rocky Balboa. Rocky Balboa is an okay movie. It's not my yeah, it's definitely way better than Rocky 5. Next is Creed. I'm gonna put Creed up here. Creed is a pretty good movie. It's a pretty good it's how passing out the torch movies should be, where you pass on the torch to a new fighter, and this is basically Creed's son. Basically, Creed's son, Adonis, is he's not really at the beginning. He was like in jail or something because he did it because I think he was orphaned or something because his father, of course. Spoilers in the fourth movie dies, but yeah, this movie really just brings on basically Creed. He gets trained by Rocky to really be this great fighter, to be this great fighter, and it's kind of like the Rocky movies, but instead it's about Creed's legacy, and it has been proven that no one, I don't think anyone really wins in this movie. It was kind of like the first movie. The guy played it like in the first movie, and yeah, the guy they still make they still voted for like the other guy to win, but it was kind of like a tie. No one really won in Creed, basically, And next is Creed 2. Creed 2 is basically about the Russian guys versus the Americans again, or Drago basically trains his son to be Creed because he wants to get revenge for losing the spirit of Russia, and it does expose that Creed and at the end, yeah, it's kind of like the third movie. Well, he isn't that great. He isn't that amazing. Once he runs out of energy, it's like the third Rocky movie. It's kind of like where stamina works out, and basically Creed, basically fights against the Russians. And of course in the Creed movie, the relationships of Creed and basically his friends and new family in the movie as well are good. But yeah, Creed 2 basically is about Americans versus the Russians again. I wonder what the third one's about. Is gonna be about. Probably a new opponent. Wouldn't be surprised. These movies, this is the Rocky movie tier list, and I think this is probably very close to the actual. I don't want to see the community link of the Rocky movie tier list because this is that's the community link. I put mine made an F tier, so that's mine. Mine is kind of more understandable. I put an F tier Rocky movie tier list. I put here. But yeah, my tier list, of course, is still mine. And yeah, this is mine. But of course, I added the FTL. So yeah. But the consensus here is basically all of these movies. And Rocky 5 just completely sucks. So that is the consensus of of course, most people. So of course, anything below is not good. And Rocky 5 is the only one that completely sucks. The only Rocky movie that is completely not that good. But I don't want to rank them 8, 7. 8 is Rocky 5, 7 is Rocky Balboa, 6 is Rocky 3, 5 is Rocky 4, 4 is Creed, 3 is Creed 2, 2 is Rocky 2, and 1 is Rocky. So yeah, that's the ranking of all the Rocky movies. And that's basically it. Goodbye.